The purpose of this video is to guide you through the troubleshooting procedure for the Hayward C6 electrolytic chlorinator. First, we'll provide some general information and then present a troubleshooting procedure. The system is made up of an electrolytic cell assembly, a power supply which contains its control box, and a flow switch. The electrolytic cell assembly consists of a clear cell housing containing an electrolytic cell. Pool water from the circulation system is directed through the cell. The pool water is maintained between 3,500 and 5,000 ppm salt concentration and is converted in the electrolytic cell to sodium hypochlorite. The sodium hypochlorite is then circulated to the pool and used as a disinfectant. The power supply provides the current to the electrolytic cells to produce the rated amount of sodium hypochlorite. The power supply also houses all of the safety features to prevent system operation in the event of a malfunction. The power supply can be installed on a wall using these eyelets, or it can be set on a shelf as it is here. When it's set on a shelf, the 4 rubber feet must be installed, as there's a fan that cools the power supply and draws air in from the bottom of the unit, and without the feet, the system will overheat. The power supply electrical connections consist of a black power cord that's plugged into a 120 volt wall outlet. The blue cord is the control cord, which can be plugged into a 120 volt wall outlet for continuous operation, or can be plugged into any chemical feed controller for precise control of sanitizer. The electrolytic cell connector is this blue connector, and you must ensure that it is snapped completely together. And then lastly, there's a flow switch connection on the side of the box. The electrolytic cell housing is plumbed to the circulation system of the pool. The full circulation system flow can be plumbed through the electrolytic cell, or this can be installed in a bypass. When installed in a bypass, you need to ensure that a minimum of 40 gallons a minute or a maximum of 100 gallons a minute flows through the cell housing. There's a flow switch that's plumbed at the inlet of the cell housing, and the bottom port is always the inlet. So the flow switch is installed with the arrow towards the housing. The outlet from the cell housing can be either one of the 2 top ports, making installation easy in a variety of pump rooms. When the system is first turned on, there will be 0 output displayed on the screen. To adjust the output of the system anywhere between 0 and 100% of its output, use this up-down button. To increase the output, hold the up button, and to decrease the output, hold the down button. Once you've reached the desired level, and we're going to put it up to 100%, once you've reached the desired level, the system will operate for 3 minutes, and then it will write this new setting into its memory, and the next time the system is started, it will always start up at this value. Anytime you encounter a screen with the word hold written across it, this indicates the possibility of 2 conditions. This is a normal screen when a chemical feed controller has turned the system off. This is also the screen that you will see if flow stops through the electrolytic cell. In order to determine which 2 items have caused this issue, take the blue control cord, plug it into any outlet, and if the hold screen goes away, that was the issue. If the hold screen doesn't go away, then you need to check the flow switch and the flow switch connection, which will cause the same symptom. If you encounter a system with a screen that's flashing between low and salt, this means that the system has detected a condition at the cell that could potentially be one of 4 things. The first obvious thing is to check the salt concentration in your pool. The salt concentration needs to be maintained between 3,500 ppm and 5,000 ppm for proper system operation. The second thing to look at is the cell condition. If the cell has accumulated an excessive amount of calcium buildup, then this could be displayed. If the cell needs maintenance, do the maintenance. The third thing to check is the connector itself, and it should be inspected for any type of damage or corrosion, and making sure that it is fully seated together. If all of those conditions are correct, lastly, the cell itself may have reached the end of its useful life and need to be replaced. Once you have corrected whatever the condition is that has created the low salt screen, to reset this screen and resume normal operation, press the down button once, and the system will reset and resume normal operation. If the electrolytic cell requires maintenance or replacement, we'll show you now how to remove it from the chamber and reinstall it. First thing that you need to do is disconnect the power from the power supply so that there is no power to the system. The second thing that you need to do is isolate the cell from the pool circulation system. Then you're going to disconnect the cell connector, loosen the black fittings at the top of the cell, pull this straight up and out, and then loosen and remove the top, and then pull the cell straight out of the chamber. Once you've performed whatever necessary maintenance there is, or gotten your new electrolytic cell, reinstall it, but note that there is a locating key that locates it in the proper position in the cell housing. So make sure that the locating key lines up with the locating slot when you reinstall it. If you encounter a system with a blank screen, in order to troubleshoot this condition, verify that the black power cord is plugged into an outlet that you can confirm has 120 volts AC available. If the black power cord is plugged into an AC source and the screen is blank, replace the power supply.